this time, and hopefully Tom can participate shortly. So it is 10:02, and I'm calling to order the October 13th meeting of the Cable Advisory Committee. Jen, if you don't mind recording, that would be awesome.
I just started it.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Deb, you are our fabulous secretary, so take your usual excellent minutes.
I'm already.
Thank you so
already
much.
writing.
And welcome Maria Broadbent, our town administrator. And today's meeting is really just to get an update on where you are in the Comcast negotiations and anything accordingly that we could help you in whatever the next step is. So please let us know how it's going.
Well, I'm certainly new to the process, but I find it interesting the sort of back and forth with the attorneys that represent the towns, along with the discussions with their coordinator. And I don't have any technical information to tell you other than the biggest sort of linchpins in the discussion have to do with what level of density Comcast is working towards having more people have access to cable. That's sort of the biggest part of the discussion, and then there's some discussion about how much money Comcast will put out, I guess, for our local activities or something.
There's usually there's a percentage of the franchise fees allotted to each town's cable department, and so the percentage changes a little bit with each license agreement. I don't know if ours has been determined yet. I think last time it was 4.75.
Could be, and like I said, I'm not, I'm pretty new to it, so I can't give you any technical information because I just don't know what it is.
Okay.
But the biggest part of the discussion, and these are pretty hardball folks here, sitting in on these meetings, seems to me that Comcast is a pretty tough negotiator, but our attorneys that represent us seem pretty aggressive. So the biggest part of the discussion is really how to get more people to be able to have access.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest part of the discussion, and the other towns that participate with us have been really helpful in supporting those of us that are so rural, us and Truro particularly, and trying to get more access. I mean, for obvious reasons, they're not a nonprofit, so they're
no kidding.
Do, as little as they can get away with as far as that goes.
Are they acknowledging verbally the increased need in this time in 2020?
Oh, definitely. I mean, everybody is. That's but it still comes down to whether they're going to make any money off of it. That has everything to do with their position. What the percentages that they're going to give to. But so, the last discussions I had with them were a couple weeks ago, and I'm, new to that process, so I'm, not as fluent in it all as the rest of them. But the person that we talked to from Comcast had to go back to his superiors to sort of walk through, the middle ground that we had discussions with. So the person that they, have assigned to us doesn't appear to be an attorney. So he has to go back to or maybe he is. I don't know. He doesn't behave like an attorney. But he has to go back to them, and then we'll wait to hear from him. So that's where we are.
Did they have a set date for when they're going to come back, or is it just whenever they have new information?
I don't have a set date. Yeah,
okay.
I don't have a set date. So that's sort of where that's all I have for you.
does it seem like they are entertaining, giving us some access, I guess, in the seashore properties, which seems to be the big, I mean, isn't that the big issue, is getting people who are living pretty remotely at the seashore some wire?
I don't know that it is necessarily a seashore or not seashore. It's just how remote the
Uh-huh.
properties
Mhm.
Yeah.
are. You know, because if the properties are in the seashore property, they already have, you know, electricity in that. So it's not necessarily a hard, you know, problem to physically get stuff out there. It's just a matter of, you know, how far is Comcast willing to run a wire or whatever and only have so many customers on it. So yeah, it's
And I know the area in which we have those seashore properties that are underserved, but I don't know how many people actually live there year round who want service, or part-time who
right.
want service.
And
And I don't know
whether,
how to get that data short of calling door to door, I guess.
yeah, so, you know, even them taking the wire out there is no guarantee that they're going to get the money that they need to support it.
Yeah.
So that seems to be the biggest part of the discussion right now.
Gotcha. Has
Thank you.
Truro must be still in the same boat as us in that respect, because I think they're the only other place that has a big
Yeah, I mean,
rural center.
parts of every town is, you know, we were um, sort of looking at, you know, what data is available, you know, that they would share for where the best impact would be. But yeah, they certainly recognize the need with, you know, some people working from home.
Yeah.
Kids in school districts that aren't local going to school.
Mm-hmm.
And how many people are really working from home, even if they're here now?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it could be residents of New York, but working from home in Wellfleet, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It would be great if we can support them, but we don't know exactly how to find out what they need or whether they're here,
Yeah, or whether it's,
beyond just asking Comcast for the broad strokes.
yeah. So that's all. That's
Yeah.
all I have. You know, that's.
Okay.
Um, but you know, the group in the discussions, you know, definitely has, um, you know, keeping the interest of our smaller rural towns in mind. So, um, you know, like the manager from Brewster has been really good at supporting our opinions, even though his needs aren't as pronounced as ours,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for rural access.
So there's a pretty solid feeling that it's a block, it's a negotiating block out here.
Correct.
Good.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think ultimately what will happen will be, you know, you'll get them to agree to, you know, run more cable or physically whatever it is they need to do. It's just the time frame.
Right.
Right. Get them to agree to it, but how, over what period of time? I mean, even, you know, some of the things that they would do, it's even a matter of getting on their schedule.
Right.
They only have certain crews that they use wherever they use them, and you know, if they said yes, we'll do it. It's not going to be tomorrow.
But we don't know, right? We don't know when. And they must be doing this everywhere, all over the state.
Oh, I would imagine all these companies that go through this are doing it across the country right now.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse
you know,
me.
check in a bit and see if we know anything more.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for going. Thank you for negotiating, and thank you for updating us. I appreciate you staying in touch. Yeah, and we're here as an advisory board, whatever we can provide. I wish
I mean,
there was more we could do right now.
yeah, I wish there was too. I feel like it's a little, a little like when those negotiations go on,
Mm-hmm.
they're taking whatever an advisory board wants included, but the ones that are actually doing the negotiations are the attorneys.
Yeah.
Sort of the way of the
Well,
world.
yeah, I think so. Well, you seem to have a really good grasp of what we want, which is just more service for more people. So keep pushing for that however you can.
Yeah, more service
Thank
for more
you.
people, and keep supporting our local channels.
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All
You
right, good.
did you see
Good
the?
to talk to everybody.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you so much. You take
All
care,
right,
Maria. Thank you.
you too. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye. Hello.
There you are, Tom. Your face just popped up. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I've been in for a while, so
Yeah, I saw
Oh,
you.
thank you.
okay.
Good. Glad to see you. Well, that was good. I'm glad that that's pretty much what I thought, that things were progressing as they have been. And yeah, we'll just stay here as a resource for the town, however we can. I wanted to approve Deb's excellent minutes, but I neglected to put in the numbers that she has a placeholder in the minutes for me to add some numbers that we have, and I haven't done it yet, so I will do that and send them out, and we can approve them next time.
Okay, so we'll just wait on that.
We'll just wait on that. We're going to postpone it, and I'll stay in touch with Courtney and see, based on Maria's schedule, when she has something to update us on again.
Okay.
Is there any other business anybody has to talk about today?
Well, just one thing. Deb and I, of course, have been attending the Lower Cape Public Access meeting we just
Okay.
had a while ago, and it sounded like a very positive in terms of the 5%, and some agreements already been sort of broached about the split. I think currently we're talking 45, 55, which means
Really?
55 and 45 to LCAT, LCTV. And let's see what else is. There was some real maneuvering. Now, Bill Solomon is the attorney that is running the access group. And he was our primary negotiator back 10 years ago. So he's been pretty much on top of all this, as you probably have heard all this already. And he's been working on trying to get the best sort of capital, which is going to be tougher this time, but he's working on the capital side of things too. And both he and Bill Hewig are working well together, apparently, from what I hear. Deb, is that your understanding?
Yes, yes. Actually, I was really impressed by how well they're working together.
That's great.
Yeah, they're not fighting, so that's good.
Yeah.
We want them to fight with Comcast, not with each other. Spend the energy there.
It seems like they're presenting a united front. Would you say that,
Great.
Tom?
I do, and I would say that the fighting usually in the past was between Bill Solomon and the administrators. That was where the fight was. There was never much of a fight with Hewig, but so some had to step back from that process. He's now more in a supportive role, but he's very active and doing, what I can tell, a pretty good job of it. So
That's
yeah.
great. Something I
Yeah.
forgot to ask Maria, are they talking about a 5-year or a 10-year contract now? Because I know that was in question.
Well, I haven't heard that it's not a 5-year or not a 10-year, but maybe Deb,
Great.
I didn't hear any definite discussion about time frame. 10-year
I'm
was
gonna
going around, but not as a definite. So
Okay. I'm sure that that's something that's been nailed down, so I'm sure we'll hear about it. But I remember that being an issue last year. I don't know if it's going to change now that they're really in negotiation. So, okay.
So we really have
thank
no
you both.
idea when these negotiations will be done and signed.
Doesn't sound like it. Yeah.
So we keep going though, right? We keep moving along and
Keep going.
doing our
Yeah.
thing, right? Okay.
Mhm. And we answer the census. Tell everyone to answer the census, because the more data we have about the people who actually live here, the more voice we're going to have if it comes to a legislative battle trying to get more support for broadband out here. So answer the census.
One other thing about the coverage outside in the park area is that the Pakistan Independent carried an article about this recently. I think
Mia was quoted in that article.
who was?
Mia.
I
Oh.
was.
Right.
All right. So I
You
got
make me sound a lot smarter than I feel like I sound on the phone. They're very flattering.
and I got the impression that the density issue was being pretty well addressed. At lower than the current 25, or I think it's 25 per linear mile of
Mhm.
potential residents. And I
Yeah,
think, remember, it's down to
50%.
15
Yeah.
now, so, which is more doable, frankly. So
Mhm.
the-
Mhm.
how everybody's spread out. And the minimum lot size too, I think, is a big issue out there. So, but anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm sure we're all sort of heard about it.
Yeah, the Independent has had some good coverage. I encourage everyone to read their articles. They've done a lot of research.
Mhm.
And yeah. From what it just sounds like negotiations are progressing, and maybe not quite as dismally as we thought they were going to back in 2019. I don't know if it's the social climate that's changed things or what, but we seem to be making more progress than I thought we were going to. So let us keep our fingers crossed.
You bet.
Excuse me.
All right. Anything else we should talk about today? We'll set up another meeting whenever Maria has another update, or if something else comes up.
Okay, so
Or
we'll
maybe
wait
we'll
on
do
the
another
next
one just
meeting.
to get another LCTV update.
Based on
Sorry, go
Maria.
ahead.
We'll wait on the next meeting date based on Maria's availability.
Yes, unless you and Tom have any pressing LCTV updates, in which case it would be great to have those as well. So let us know if something climactic happens. Otherwise, I imagine we'll have a meeting with Maria sometime in November. I hope that they will at least be meeting a couple of times by early or mid-November. So I'll keep you posted.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being part of the call today. It's so good to see your faces.
Yeah. Good to
And
see you. Okay.
Thank you.
can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Bye.
Bye.
All right. We are adjourned at 10:20. Thank you, everybody, and stay well.
You too.
All right.
You too.
How soon? Hopefully.
Bye.